How do you know if your thyroid is draining your energy? You'll experience any or all of these symptoms. Low energy, especially after a full night's rest. A crash that usually occurs in the middle of the day. A reliance upon caffeine to get up and go. And of course, other low thyroid related symptoms like hair loss, constipation, or weight gain. If that's you and you want to get your energy back, try this. First, optimize your free T3 levels. As far as thyroid hormones go, T3 does almost all of the work. And yet, it's the thyroid hormone that very few doctors even look for. T3 gives you energy, it drives your metabolism, and it fights off depression and mood imbalances. If you want more energy, you want higher free T3. But when was the last time your doctor checked your free T3 level? If you're like most thyroid patients, the answer is probably never. And this is a problem because it's possible for your free T3 to be low even if all of your other thyroid lab tests like your TSH and free T4 are completely normal. Here's your action for this problem. Ask your doctor to test your free T3, not just your TSH, the next time you go get your thyroid labs. You'll know if your free T3 is optimal if it's in the top 1/3 of the reference range provided on your lab results. And make sure you don't fall for the "it's not necessary" or "it's normal" charade that your doctor may try to give you. If you want to take it a step further, not only test for free T3, but also consider taking natural ingredients that can help boost your T3. The most powerful natural ingredients include guggle extract, zinc, and selenium. The second thing that you need to do to get your energy back is make sure your blood sugar is balanced throughout the day. Swings in your blood sugar will have a huge impact on your motivation and sense of energy. This is because sugar is the primary fuel source for both your body and your brain. If you want sustained energy throughout the day, you want sustained and normal blood sugar throughout the day as well. But this is hard if you have a thyroid problem for the following reasons. First, hypothyroidism slows down glucose absorption and utilization. This leads to a delayed insulin response and swings in blood sugar in between your meals. Second, the low thyroid state increases your risk of developing insulin resistance. And this leads to increased blood sugar in between meals. And third, cortisol imbalances often accompany thyroid imbalances. This further worsens your fasting blood sugar and insulin levels. Here's your action to fix this problem. Eat 30 grams of protein at least 3 times per day. Protein provides a more balanced effect on your blood sugar, and it also has an appetite suppressing effect. This makes it much easier for you to say no to junk food and yes to healthy food. On top of this, make sure you avoid heavily processed foods, especially refined sugars and refined carbohydrates. The biggest offenders in this group are soft drinks or other drinks that have added sugar. Oh, and make sure you aren't skipping any meals unless you are intentionally fasting for thyroid weight loss. The third thing you'll want to do is to support your adrenals. Your thyroid and your adrenals work together to provide your cells with energy. And if one drops, it will take the other with it. So if you're dealing with chronic stress, poor sleep, or adrenal burnout, don't be surprised if you end up with both thyroid problems and adrenal problems. The good news is you can support both of these symptoms with some simple natural ingredients. And this brings us to your action to fix this problem. If you have a thyroid problem, then it is safe to just assume that you have an adrenal problem and act accordingly. This means you can just take adrenal adaptogens like rhodiola or ashwagandha. And no, you do not need to test your cortisol in order to take these ingredients. Cortisol testing is notoriously inaccurate, and there's virtually no negative side effects associated with these natural plant-based compounds. The worst case scenario of using them is that they will have no benefit. But the best case scenario is that they will provide you with more energy and more vitality. As I mentioned before, my favorites for thyroid patients include ashwagandha and rhodiola. Rhodiola is great if you have crushing fatigue and need to get your energy up as soon as possible. Ashwagandha, on the other hand, is slightly more mild on its effect on energy, but it does have beneficial effects on libido and muscle recovery. So you can choose which one you prefer based on what you need. The fourth thing you want to do is look for nutrient deficiencies that could be sapping your energy. The three biggest for your energy include magnesium, iron, and vitamin B12. And it just so happens to be the case that thyroid patients are often deficient in one or up to all three of them. Here's why they matter and what they do for you. Magnesium helps transport iodine into the thyroid gland so that your thyroid gland can produce thyroid hormones. It also happens to be involved in over 300 different enzymatic reactions inside your cells. Iron is also needed to create thyroid hormones inside of the thyroid gland, and it also happens to be critical for carrying oxygen to your cells. B12 is crucial for your body to break down and use energy from the food that you eat, and it also happens to have an impact on your mood. Here's your action for this problem. Check for deficiencies in all three of these the next time you get your labs drawn. But don't be afraid to start supplementing with magnesium and vitamin B12 right away. Of these three, you really only need to check for iron before you start supplementing with it, because taking too much iron can actually be harmful. But there's no harm in taking a little bit of extra methylated B12 like methylcobalamin, or highly bioavailable magnesium like magnesium glycinate chelate. The fifth thing that you'll want to do to improve your energy is to stop over exercising, or if you aren't already, make sure you start exercising. Too much exercise can be a huge drain on your energy, but not exercising at all can do the exact same thing as well. For thyroid patients, the sweet spot of exercise is at an intensity level where you can hold a normal conversation without feeling like you're out of breath. This intensity level is called zone 2 exercise, and it happens to be the intensity level at which your thyroid will thrive. Here's your action for this problem. Implement a full body strength training session of lifting weights at least once per week, and add at least 1 to 2 sessions of yoga and Pilates every week. On top of this, all you need to do is stay active with some light cardio like daily walking for about 20 to 30 minutes each day. My recommendation is to get a wearable device that monitors and tracks your heart rate. That way you always know if you are in this intensity level. If you don't want to track your heart rate, then just focus on your breath and make sure that if you are exercising, you can hold a conversation with somebody else. If you're feeling like all of this is overwhelming, here's what I would do. For week 1, begin with an adrenal adaptogen like rhodiola or ashwagandha. It doesn't really matter which one you start with, just pick one and use it every single day. For week 2, focus on adding protein to your diet. Your goal should be to hit 30 grams of protein with breakfast, lunch, and dinner. For week 3, request additional testing from your doctor. Here you want to get a full set of thyroid lab tests, including free T3 and basic tests for magnesium, iron, and vitamin B12. For week 4, go on a walk for 30 minutes every single day, preferably at night. If you need to up the intensity of your walk, then add on a weighted vest. It's been my experience that a little bit of extra weight can increase your heart rate by up to 10 beats per minute. If you're tired of being tired, then stick and stay consistent with these treatment recommendations and you will start to reclaim your energy. But remember, one of the most important things that you can understand as someone with a thyroid problem is the difference between normal and optimal thyroid lab tests. So make sure you check out this video next to better understand the difference.